all began with a test that went almost unnoticed. A mysterious launch, detected by a few radars, then classified as a simple space test. Nothing unusual. At least until American intelligence services realized the truth. Because behind this innocuous radar signature lay one of the most dangerous weapons ever conceived by humankind. 2021, then 2024, then 2025. Each time, China repeated the same operation, in secret. A discreet launch, without official announcement, analyzed by only a few specialists. But what Beijing was testing then surpassed anything the United States thought possible. China was experimenting with a hypersonic glider mounted on an orbital vehicle. Right Arrow, a missile capable of leaving the atmosphere, circling the Earth almost, then plummeting toward its target at a literally extraterrestrial speed. It's a combination that no one imagined would be possible before at least 2035. Yet, China has done it. For the CIA, it's a Sputnik moment. The last time Washington was caught off guard like this was in 1957, when the Soviet Union launched the first satellite into orbit. The Pentagon, however, is calling it a revolutionary threat. Its unofficial name is already circulating: DFZF Orbital Strike System, a terrifying fusion of an intercontinental ballistic missile and a small AI-piloted spacecraft. Imagine the scene. The missile takes off like a conventional rocket, rises above the clouds, crosses the Kármán line, and instead of falling back to Earth like a normal missile, it enters low Earth orbit, silent and invisible to most radar. Then, without warning, it plunges toward its target at Mach 20, or more than 24,000 kilometers per hour. At that speed, no radar has time to calculate a trajectory. No missile defense system has time to retaliate. No country has the technology to stop it. Trying to intercept it would be like trying to shoot down a meteor with a shotgun. But the real fear isn't speed. The real fear is absolute unpredictability. Unlike conventional missiles, which follow predictable arcs, this hypersonic glider can change direction multiple times during its descent. It can strike a continent from any angle, bypass all defenses, arrive via the South Pole, where the United States barely monitors, disappear and reappear at impossible speeds. And above all, it can carry a conventional warhead or a nuclear payload. The world has never seen anything like it. It's not just a missile, it's an orbital phantom. And the most frightening part? This superweapon is just one piece of a much larger military puzzle. 1. The DF-41, China's most powerful intercontinental ballistic missile. Range of over 15,000 kilometers. Capable of striking Paris, New York, and London, all while carrying up to 10 independent nuclear warheads. 2. The WZ-8 supersonic drone, a spy drone so fast it's virtually impossible to intercept. It flies at the edge of space, taking pictures with surgical precision. 3. Chinese anti-satellite lasers, weapons capable of blinding or destroying American satellites. In seconds, the West could lose internet, GPS, military communications, air navigation, a total strategic blackout. 4. Type 096 nuclear submarines, considered the quietest ever produced by China, capable of remaining hidden for weeks in the Pacific, within range of the American coast. For Beijing, this is not a provocation. It is a strategy. The objective is clear. Right Arrow to break American military supremacy in the Pacific. Right Arrow to deter any Western intervention around Taiwan. Right Arrow to impose a new global balance where China dictates the rules. If a war were to break out tomorrow, the orbital DFZF would likely be Beijing's first card played, an opening move designed to paralyze American defenses in minutes. We are entering a new era, an era where the old rules no longer apply, where satellites can be blinded, where missiles arrive from space, where military alliances are no longer enough. The United States is working on a response, but it has fallen behind. Russia, meanwhile, is developing its own orbital hypersonic technology. But for now, one country possesses the most unpredictable, fastest, and most uncounterable weapon ever built. Right Arrow China. This superweapon is not just a missile. It is a message, a discreet but powerful warning sent to all nations of the world. We are no longer just an economic superpower. We are now a military superpower. The question is therefore no longer if this technology will change the course of history, but when, and above all, under what circumstances.
Shalom. Before I get started, let me give all honor and all glory and all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh. Double honors to the Apostle of the Great Millstone, will, and shalom to you bishops and elders and brothers who are in these camps of the four corners of earth, making your body a living sacrifice. My name is Yerah Abad from the Israelites 11 Hour Camp. Coming, and also a Great Millstone affiliate, coming to you in another sit-down lesson of what is edifying. I'd like to apologize to you, Akim, for me not making a video in the last couple of days. Somehow my dumb ass lost my phone. You know what I mean? I had to get a whole new channel, whole new, everything. So here I am back, back on it. And you guys seen the video? I'll pull up this first scripture. Just give me 1 second, Akim. Let me just write this real quick so I can get that first scripture coming out. 1 second. Yeah, it's Isaiah. Yep, this one. This is Isaiah 14 and 16. Now that they see shall nearly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth tremble, that shake kingdoms? Yeah, because now these countries, what do you call them, now surpass the United States, right? In their military prowessness. While Babylon, right, the so-called white man, was worrying about how to oppress the Israelites, and also worrying about how to oppress the other nations of this world through sanctions. The world in itself, what do you call it, has been developing a system outside of Esau Edom's Western hegemony. Not only have it developed an economic system outside of the U.S. dollar, outside of the IMF bank, outside of the SWIFT system, they've also actually developed what do you call a military prowessness, right? That will rival, if not surpass, the American military. In fact, I believe it already has, because the American military is shit. Their recruiting is at an all-time low. Their morale is all-time low. Their advancements are at all-time low. You know what I mean? DARPA's not making those advancements like it used to, right? So now they're actually playing catch up. And in the world of arms race, Babylon just lost. This is the month and the year that the world that Babylon became now a third world shithole. And good riddance. Because it's about time fucking, what do you call it? It pays for its crimes against humanity, against the children of Israel, and against, what do you call it, the Most High and His only begotten Son. Right? In fact, let me go to Isaiah. Continue that. 1 second, Israel. 1 second. Salak. Okay, later. Isaiah. Okay. Salak. There it is. Got it. Okay. Got it. Okay. Okay. That made, let's continue. Isaiah 14:17, that made the world as a wilderness, destroyed cities thereof, that opened not the house of prisoners, right? Because literally, Babylon's oppression has gone on uncontested for the last 400 plus years. Ever since the inception of the Western fucking Edomite, which is you so-called white people, right? You American good old boys, you rejects, you outcasts from Europe, right? You Macedonians, you guys have reigned, long enough, and now the world's getting sick of your shit, right? And they're answering back with military might, right? And you definitely, what do you call it, have oppressed your own people within the American border, especially the so-called Negro, Latino American, the Hebrew Israelite that the Bible speaks of. You fucking devils, what do you call it, that literally suppressed the whole world, and now the world's getting sick of your shit and is actually rebelling, right? And saying you're not the man no more. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch. That's right. And the remnant of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword, that go down the stones of a pit as carcass trod under feet. That's what's actually going on in Ukraine right now. But you foreign mercenaries, right? You NATO mercenaries are getting your ass kicked over there. You know what I mean? To where it's not even a war. You guys are just going there getting slaughtered. And what's happening in Ukraine is actually what you call the groundwork for the next World War III, right? So basically, all you're doing out there is showing your ass, showing how weak you are, and just getting fucked up, and Putin just killing you niggas out there. You know what I mean? To where the whole generation of men are gone. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial. That's right, because you're not gonna have the so-called white man. Even you Eastern fucking Edomites are not gonna have that glory you guys are looking for, right? Just because you take down your Western brother, it doesn't mean that you're gonna have that glory, right? That title belongs to Yahweh Shem Shai. Thou art, this is Isaiah 14:19. Thou art cast out of thy grave like abominable branch, and as a raiment of those who are slain, thrust through with a sword, that go down the stones of the pit, as a carcass trod underfoot. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. That's right, because you guys are the seed of evildoers. You guys have destroyed the land, which you were told not to, right? Through your policies and regulations and kingdomship, what do you call it, under your rulership, you've been found wanting by the Lord by disrespecting, what do you call it, the land that the Lord claims, which is this earth, right? Because He's going to destroy Babylon, which is America, but the earth will be Yahweh Shai's, and this will be the kingdom of Yahweh Shai, right? And it says, prepare slaughter for the children. It says, prepare slaughter for His children for the iniquity of their fathers, right? So basically, the Lord's going to cut you people off. You know what I mean? You Edomites, you so-called white people. You know what I mean? You guys have rape, rob, murder, what do you call it, Lord's chosen people, the Hebrew Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latino Americans. So now the Lord's making you pay not only with your blood, but with your gold, your silver. Hell, your military might, all of it's suffering. All of it will be, in question. All of it will fucking be brought down low. All of it will not survive this next world war, right? Because the next world war is going to be the Lord's nuclear missiles raining on Babylon and Jerusalem, right? Because you Western Edomites have don't have an insatiable thing going to where you need to fucking colonize everything, in Lord's ecosystem, right? You try and play God, and you're not. You're just a man, and you're being brought down low as we speak. That they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the faces with cities. That's right, because pretty soon you're not going to have that You're not gonna be the face thereof. You're not gonna be the standard of beauty. Pretty soon you're not gonna have what do you call it? Your white privilege. You know, what I mean, your Edomite privilege. Pretty soon you're being brought down low, and no one wants to fucking deal with you. The Edomite woman can barely stand that can barely stand the Edomite man. Even though her racist ass contributes to our oppression, right? But what do you call it? Your foundation's cracking. Your so-called worldly support is now completely diminished. Your allies in the G19 are no longer your allies, right? You have now become isolated, right? And the rest of the world has now moved on without you. And also your supplies and your technology and your great wisdom is sinking along with your hegemony, right? You no longer have the wisdom of Teeman. You no longer have the best scientists in the world. You know what I mean? Your first world country become a third world shithole. In less than 10 years. For I will rise up against them, said the Lord of hosts, the Lord Yahweh Shai of hosts, and cut off Babylon, the name, and remnant, and the son and nephew of the Lord. That's right, because see, the Lord has an indignation and a beef with you Babylonians, right? You so-called white people, and especially you 2/3 niggas, right? And you other nations who have oppressed the Lord's people, right? The Hebrew Israelites. And anytime you go up against the Lord's people, and you do injustice, right? And you forward the affliction of the Hebrew Israelites, you will be judged, by moving your hand against the Lord's chosen people, right? And even though the Lord's using you to be the hammer of his own people, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be judged for your actions. Every word, every slander, every negative thought, every fucking, sideways look of racism, you know what I mean? Is all being brought down low. You guys are no longer the standard of living. You guys are the standard of dying. I will make it a possession for the bittern and pools of water, and it will sweep it. The beast of destruction, say for Lord Yahweh Shai of hosts, right? And that beast of destruction, as Pascal Bar always goes into, is that thermonuclear destruction of that blast wave just sweeping across the whole land, right? And also, the multiple blast waves, because you're gonna have multiple warheads hitting, Babylon the Great. You know what I mean? Thank God, good riddance, because fuck this place. And these racist fuckers that are in it. You know what I mean? And these 2/3 niggas that cleave unto their oppressors. You know what I mean? Kiss their ass, trim their ways of fucking to receive peanuts, right? Fucking faggots. The Lord Yahweh Shai of hosts have sworn, saying, surely as I had thought, so it shall come to pass, and as I have proposed, so shall it stand. That's right, because see, that's an example of what do you call of the Lord fulfilling his promise to our forefathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that he redeemed his children of Israel, the descendants we call of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, that he would honor the contract that he had with our forefathers back in the time of Moses, right? Because if not, then the Lord of hosts would be a liar, and we all know the Lord doesn't lie, because he says he swears by himself that he will not abandon us, right? Unlike our parents who have grown accustomed to the Babylon, excuse me. Unlike our parents who have grown our parents who have grown accustomed to banning their children for waxing worse and worse. That I will break the Assyrian in my land, and upon my mountains tread him underfoot. Then shall his yoke depart from off them, and his burden depart from their shoulders. Right, because the Lord is going to take off the yoke of our arms, and not only physically beam us up on the chariots, but to deliver us to the land of Israel at a set point in time. We will be in a new covenant with a new spiritual bodies, right? And the beginning, what do you call it, of a new era, right? that can never be wiped away nor overthrown. It'll be the kingdom of Yahweh Shai. For Lord Yahweh Hashem Shai of hosts have proposed, and who shall disannul it? And his hands is stretched out, and who shall turn it back? In the year that King Uzziah died, was this burden, rejoice thou not thou, whole Palestina, because the rod of him that smote thee is broken. For out of the serpent's root shall come forth a cockatrice, and his fruit shall be a fiery serpent. That's right. These are the thermonuclear missiles, right? Ooh. And the firstborn of the poor shall feed, and the needy shall lie down in safety. That's right. And I will kill thy root with famine, and shall slay thy remnant. How, O gate, cry, O city, thou whole Palestina, art thou dissolved? For there shall come from the north a smoke, and none shall be alone as appointed times. What shall one then answer the message of the nation? That the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai have founded Zion, and the poor of his people shall trust in it. That's right, because we are the poor of his people. Right? We're going to trust in Zion, which is, the contract and the heritage of the Hebrew Israelites to their lords, Yahweh Shem Shai. So that was a quick little hit. Lord's willing, that was edifying lesson, right? Straight to the point. My name is Yerah Abad at the Israelites 11-hour camp at San Francisco, Great Millstone affiliate. And before I sign off, I'm going to give all honor and all glory and all praise to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Gagwadash. Double honors the Apostle Great Millstone, who will well. And shalom to you bishops and elders and brothers who in his camps preaching and believing in Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai in true sincerity. Until next time, I say shalom, wa ba ba ba.